Hey, what's good, everybody? I wanted to share this story in honor of Halloween. I don't know, it looked like my eyebrow. Well, in honor of Halloween, I wanted to share this story. I think last year or the year before, I don't know, I had shared a kind of spooky story about Halloween. This one's actually gonna be about a story that my dad told me. I'm honored to be able to tell these stories, right? So this was, I would say, maybe 1960, 61, right? My dad, he said, this. So I'll just get right into the story, right? So this, because I don't want to, you know, keep babbling on or whatever, right? But this is like an interesting story that he told me. Like I said, a little spooky, so you know, in the Halloween theme or in honor of Halloween, Dia de los Muertos, all that good stuff, right? So when he was about 11 years old, he was in sixth grade. So I don't know if he was 11, but I know he said he was in sixth grade, right? He had been going to those church schools, as they call them in Spanish, Escuela de las Monjas, right? School of the nuns, right? Up to fifth grade. And then this was his first year going to a regular school, right? Sixth grade. So school was about 8 miles away. He would go on his bike, right? That day, it was the last day of school, right? And they were gonna have a test, right? The last day there was this exam and this and that. Um, and for some reason, he didn't want to go to school, right? He was begging his mom that he didn't want to go to school. He didn't want to go to school. But she told him, nope, you're going to school. So he hops on his bike, goes to school, right? After school, you know, he was over there playing with friends. He said there was this street with this island like in the middle, and they would go around it and this and that, all crazy, riding their bikes. So he was doing all that, going all crazy. When all of a sudden, his handlebars break on the bike and he flies, and there was a bench with like bamboo sticks, and one of the bamboos went straight into his face, right? He has a scar like all the way down his face, which is funny, right? Like when I got my scar, I was like, oh wow, we're the same. Like so many similarities, oddly, right? So, anyways, this bamboo stick goes into his face, and people thought he was dead, so they just left. I guess his friends, they just left him there, right? He's bleeding out, boom, boom, boom. Here's this 11-year-old kid. I'm guessing something like that. 12 year old, 11 years old, with this bamboo going through his face. Finally, a man that worked for his dad and mom, because they ran stuff, right? My grandpa and grandma. So he sees him, and then he's like, "What the hell?" And he picks him and takes him to the hospital, right? Because no one else was doing nothing. I think even the police at that point had got in there, and everyone's just looking at him like he's dead already, right? Until this man passes by that worked for his dad and mom, and he took him to the hospital. Then at the hospital, he's bleeding out. And even in those times, they were trying to figure out if he had insurance, medical insurance. So there he's just bleeding out until I guess finally, I don't know what happened, and boom, he gets in and they sew him up all nasty. So he just looked all nasty, right? Um, and so after that, a doctor comes that lived behind like where they lived, right? And he sees him that he's all messed up. So he opens up, he's like, what the hell? And he takes out all the stitches, stitches them up nicer, everything. And then whatever, he's there, right? And most of this he was told, right? Because once that happened, like boom, he was out, right? Um, at one point he wakes up and he sees his mom like knocked out by the bed, right? I guess she didn't leave his side once she got there, and she was by his side, and she knocked out by the bed. So he gets up, he doesn't even know how many days he had been out or what. He gets up and he goes to the bathroom. When he comes back, after, he's right there in the bed, everything. Then they come and they close everything. and they take this lady, and then they're like, they say that, oh, this lady passed away. The crazy thing was that the lady, at the exact time that he went to the bathroom, was when the lady passed away. And they said that she had just gone in for like a regular exam. There was nothing wrong with her. When she went, she just went to go get an exam. And at that time that he had gone up to go to the restroom, this lady like passed away. And boom, then they're rushing her past over there. And so he said that he thought like death must have came for him, and because he had gone to the restroom, it missed him and it took the lady, right? So, he always he always remembers that, right? So he shared that with me, and I was like, oh wow. So that's the story, right? So that's the story. Let me know if you have any stories, right? I'll just add this real quick. Like I even talk, I'll put a link to the video I had made about the little ghost girl, right, in our house that only me and my dad would see. And then, I'll put the link so you could listen to the story, right? I had made that story. So he's always been like tapped in, right? And we have a lot of similar experiences, right? So I wonder if that was probably his near-death experience, right? Maybe mine was this car accident because I was out. And then after I came to, and then I went to, they took me to hospital. I was there for a little bit. I'm sure he was there longer, right? But I don't know if that helped us be a little tapped in. But he's funny because he's always been like my biggest not anymore, finally, right? But like opponent when I would be trying to share spirit, like trying to rational, well, there's a logical explanation, even though he's had all these interesting occurrences, right? And just that, even the fact of it does seem even divine intervention, right? Like someone passing by at the right moment when everyone's just leaving him there, like, okay, he's dead. Or even that, right? Like maybe death coming and oh, you were in the bathroom, right? Something like that. So I think it's funny, but if you have any interesting stories, let me know in the comments. I would love to read someone's story. If you're too shy to share your own story, email me at inagoodwaypodcast@gmail.com. I'll read your story. If you want to share a story, I could read it word for word how you write it, or kind of read it the way I read, right? And or tell the story, right? So yeah, if anyone wants to share a story, or you could just put it in the comments, and that way everyone could read it, or you could email me it and then I'll make a video about it. Right now that Halloween, we're getting closer to Halloween, right? So it's always an interesting time and a great time to share these stories, right? These like campfire stories, right? So yeah, thank you. Hope you enjoyed that story. I always found it interesting, right? My dad has a lot of interesting stories from those times, right? So I really that one was and obviously, yeah, good thing, because if he had would have left at that time, I wouldn't be here either right now, right? So all right, hope you guys are all well. Peace.
Life may move fast, or it may move slow. I met a silly man who said he make it slow. We look up out towards space, or even at the sky. One day pass away, but never look inside. Breathe in, breathe out. Life is a maze, but we'll figure this out. I mean, human beings, I ain't got no doubt.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, sometimes you just feeling it, you know what I'm saying? You just feeling it. And I wanna feel this way forever.